Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Interesting though, in a way it's also, the sign is also telling Yuji to stop, right? If... Jesus, look at this. It's a lot of people, man. A lot of people. Hey! Are we gonna begin where we left off? Oh! There's the sign again. Yeah, this is the first, like, actual major battle for Yuji, specifically, right? Ooh. Sound of the clock ticking. That immediate response time. Whoa! Ooh, look at that! Oh, beautiful there. It's practically a laser beam. I'm really enjoying the POV shots though. Really cool. And this use of lighting as well, really striking. Oh. Yeah. But yeah, there was a... Ooh. Some fantastic direction here. Oh, yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, like, there's a reason why Chozo wanted Nobara and Yuji to die in the previous episode, right? Like, specifically those two. Oh, beautifully, beautifully done. Oh, that is... Using the green as the main lighting while the red is kind of giving that much needed contrast for it is just visually striking. I love it. Oh, this presentation is beautiful, man. Wow, wow. Look at that. Look at this. Ooh. Oh, once again, the lighting. The interesting use of arrows as well. In a way, it's also directing us, the audience. Megamaru's. It's been a while. %10 chance, but it is a chance. Oh! Ooh! Okay. I'm geeking out on that. I'm geeking out on how it's a perfect circle, but obviously it's a matter of perspective and it's a matter of angles. This is cool. It's breaking the ceramics? Red and blue. Baited. Baited. They're playing up. Yeah, of course. But what's the water gonna do? Is it because of... Yeah, okay. Alright, there we go.
血液の約 45% を占める血球成分がコントロールできなくなり、白蓮は解かれた。今この状況下において長宗は体外での血液操作が不可能となった。戦闘経験の浅い長宗は自身に何が起こったのか理解していない。冷静に現実を受け止め、血液操作を体内で完結させる。
Huh.
俺の土俵に持ち込んだ。
Still don't underestimate him, Yuji. Ah, beautiful. This episode is probably the show's best use of CG environments thus far, especially in incorporating it with the storyboarding, with the cinematography, shot compositions. Oh yes, yes. Bite him, yeah. Headbutt him, yes. Let's go, Yuji.
水にさらさぬよう、水に溶け出さぬよう限界まで凝固圧縮し、磁力で強化した血の塊が
This is why you still gotta be careful.
肝臓を貫いた。
Shit. Blood meteorite.
もう飛び道具はないと。なんだ。
Ooh, beautiful. Ah. So many good shots in this episode alone.
壊れちゃいけないところが壊れた。負ける。
Destroy something that shouldn't be broken. You know, we haven't seen Sukuna in a while. Respectable. And honestly mature. That's very mature of Yuji there. Whoa.
操術の術師といえど、すべての血管に意識が届くわけではない。突発的な血栓症のリスクを抱えることになる。
Ooh, high risk. High reward. This is beautiful. You know, weirdly enough, this fight is reminding me a lot of the fights in the Raid movies. Especially their stances. Ooh! Come on, Yuji. Just in the nick of time. Ah! It's just how the camera sways and moves, which adds a lot more to the impact of the fight, if you know what I mean. Whoa! Wow! Ow. Oh! Damn. But that was beautifully directed, though. The way it's subverting our expectation. Ooh, the change in aspect ratio. It's time. Ooh. Again. Whoa. Whoa. I am loving what they are doing here. Memories that didn't exist. Oh, beautifully presented here. We've seen this kind of presentation in like the beginning of the season. Shattered reality. I was a wow. Seems like there's gonna be some after credits, but wow, you know, I was already impressed with what they were doing with like the camera work, the animation, obviously, and all that stuff. But the moment they started to mess around with the aspect ratio, I was like, okay. Honestly, one of the best uses of aspect ratio change that I've seen in a long, long while. Like sometimes they just change aspect ratios for the sake of changing aspect ratios because sometimes, trying to look cinematic and all that stuff. But when done effectively, when the change in aspect ratio serves a pivotal point of visual storytelling, then it's also utilizing the medium to its fullest. What do we got? Oh,
いた
the sisters?
生きてるよね
Oh, you do not want to be near him.
じゃあ始めるよ
Okay, that was season 2, episode 13 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and what an episode that was. That entire episode is just one singular fight scene, and it is fantastic. Sometimes you get multiple fight scenes in an episode, sometimes you get one fight scene because of how, grandiose it may be. This being, as I mentioned before, like the first major battle for Yuji in this entire arc, right, where we are also fighting someone of a noteworthy caliber, not a grasshopper or a locust or whatever that was, you know what I mean? But yeah, this fight, wow, just a beautiful presentation of style, of the rule of cool, of everything basically. And even as I was mentioning before, by the end there, the use of aspect ratio and how it's adding to the visual storytelling, and how it is in a way effectively using the medium to its fullest. Like you can do that in a movie or a show, in a moving image. Yes, use it wisely, and I think this episode uses it wisely. The same way, if let's say if you're reading a manga and the mangaka or the comic artist is utilizing panelings effectively by giving you a striking visual motif or whatever. Here, they're using aspect ratios, and again, like I said, I think it was beautifully done by the end there. Like I wasn't expecting it. From the change into a wide aspect ratio when they are showing Sukuna, to the back and forth change between 16:9 to 4:3 when Choso was like in his confused state of mind, if you will, going back and forth, between reality and fiction. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. And while I don't think this episode specifically, well, I mean, if we're talking about like the story or plot progression of this episode, you could say that the plot kind of slowed down for a bit just so that we can experience this fight for 20 minutes. So there's not much for me to say in regards to like plot progression wise. I mean, except for like by the end of this episode, Yuji heavily injured, and Sukuna especially, Sukuna coming in by the very end here, and herein lies the unknown third party. Well, I mean, we know it, but you know what I mean. The unknown third party in the sense that we don't know what Sukuna is going to do to all of them, and this is just like another layer to the unpredictability of this current arc in terms of like, well, who's gonna win and who's gonna lose when it's not just Geto's gang and Gojo's allies. Sukuna here is somebody who doesn't care about both of these groups, and not to mention previously we got we got Toji as well. So, and then how is Toji gonna meet with Sukuna? And there's like so many possibilities. There's so many possibilities. There's so many different possibilities. So many different encounters that may happen in this arc alone that could change the trajectory of of the entire story, if you will, right? And the fact that Gojo is not here, I think, is the genius part in terms of creating stakes, because that's like the one thing from season 1, and I guess to a degree JJK 0, where when you have this character that is admittedly overpowered, the entire world of JJK pretty much agrees that this guy is overpowered. Gojo, I mean, the fact that they pretty much established in the previous episodes that the world and the curses basically reacted to Gojo's being born by spewing out more curses, by making the curses far more powerful just to balance out against one dude, already shows you how insane Gojo is. So I think it's a genius move to, okay, it's hard for us to have that big of stakes when Gojo is around, that can also help us, whenever the plot desires him to come in. Like, even if we do get injured or whatever, we still in the back of in the back of our mind, and I'm talking about like season 1 and and JJK 0 and all, in the back of our mind, we still think of, okay, how do we get out of this situation? But Gojo's out there, we can do sex machina this however however the author wants, because at the end of the day, anything can go, anything is possible. So I think it's genius here that we're putting that in a box. Literally speaking, we are concealing Gojo, right? He is unable to be used for the plot. He is unable to be used to save the characters. So in a way, it's also forcing the author, forcing the writer, Geke, to basically go, okay, how am I going to make these characters? So how do I make? How do? What am I saying? It's basically making him find ways to get these characters out of certain predicaments without the over reliance of the obvious, because now, well, what do we do? But you get rid of Gojo and then you introduce Sukuna and you introduce Toji, which I guess balance it out. But they're the unpredictable parts, right? So you don't know what they're gonna do. You don't know who they're gonna ally with, but I don't think they're not gonna ally with anyone. Let's be real here. Toji hates both of these groups, regardless, because they're monkeys and they're Jujutsu sorcerers. And if you're a curse, then you're gonna get, taken by Gojo, by Toji no matter what. Meanwhile, Sukuna's just chilling, like Sukuna knows that he's, he's powerful. He can do it, easy peasy. But yeah, beautifully well done episode nonetheless. The animation, as I already mentioned before, beautifully done. Love the use of lighting throughout most of these scenes. The fight choreography as well flows beautifully well. One thing that I do love about this specific fight is that it doesn't fall into the usual gripes that I have with a lot of anime fights that are long, which is over expository action dialogue. There is, of course, expository moments in this episode where they are kind of explaining bits and pieces of it, but most of the time, throughout the fight, it actually serves a purpose, and I don't generally mind it during this episode. So kudos for the direction and the writing for this fight, actually, because I really enjoyed this, and especially for having a fight that basically runs for like 20 minutes, the entire duration of the episode. That flew by, and not once did I feel tired, because sometimes you have a fight that goes on for too long and you feel like, okay, I think I've seen enough. I'm wear down. Where are we going? Come on, let's wrap it up. Like the grasshopper fight, for example. But here it's how they are utilizing everything the medium can be used, from excellent use of the CG environment, the use of lighting. It all makes for a striking visual, a beautiful presentation, and of course, all of that is to, in a way, keep our attention, locked in, right? Because the fight keeps evolving, it keeps adding new things. It's not just a stagnant fight of, okay, I'm gonna punch you, you're gonna punch me. No, there is an evolution to the fight. There is a story structure to the fight. In a way, it's also like the 3-act structure. Like the fight has a structure. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and then there's an end. And I'm hoping that this is going to be like how the rest of the fights in this arc is going to be handled, because if it is, then it's gonna be fantastic. Not to say that the previous fights in this arc are not as appealing to me. No, they are great, they're fantastic, don't get me wrong. But it's just that in those episodes, most of the time, we are cutting between two fights, or cutting between two perspectives, right? It's not just a single perspective. In this episode, it's just Yuji and Choso, and then that's it. Mekamaru only for like, what, 10, 20, 30 seconds, and then that's it. But that's pretty much it, right? So I'm hoping that for the rest of this season, if we are gonna get a longer battle between like just two characters, like just a specific battle between two characters, this should be the blueprint. This should be how it's done. Clever use of the medium, an escalation of the fight that feels natural and progressive, and also expository action dialogue that doesn't put the fight on hold, that doesn't drag it out. As I mentioned, I that is like certain things that I just don't like in anime. Like that's just a personalized me thing. It's not just a JJK thing. It's not just an action shonen thing. It's just anime in general. Sometimes when they're fighting and I'm really engaged with it, and then they took a minute or two just to explain things that I'm already seeing and I already understand to a degree, I'm like, they didn't do it here. I really enjoyed it. And I feel like JJK as a whole has done a pretty good job at making me feel this invested in a fight. Like what I just said, the complaint that I just said is very rare in JJK. So that's a plus. That is a plus. But yeah, really cool fight. Really enjoyed this episode a lot. Beautifully done. Yeah. Let's watch the next episode. Mei Mei?
姉様
なるほどね。特定疾病呪霊だ。3カウント以内に棺桶から脱出できなければ、私はその病にかかり死ぬ。
Smallpox.
厄介なのはあの墓石。あと2回も食らえばいつもの動きができなくなる。
Oh.
領域内で呪力の強いものを反射で標的にしているのだろう。
Probably.
大手を指すには攻撃対象をウィウィに移し、
Well,
私が自由に動く時間を稼ぐしかない。私のために死んでくれるかい？
いいのですか、姉様のために死んでも。
oh, beautiful shot there. Covering his face. Alright. That's a gamble. Whoa! Her expression there?
私がただの荷物持ちであの子を連れているとでも？
Yeah. Yeah, don't underestimate Yui as well. Like I mentioned before, right?
役割は領域対策
All right. Oh, wow.
それは命を懸けた縛りですよね姉様 姉様の術式国鳥操術その真骨頂バードストライク
Kamikaze.
バードストライクを防ぐことができた人間は五条悟を除いて存在しない
やるじゃないか最近の術師にしては
For a modern sorcerer. You know, there's something about Mei that I do want to talk about, especially after what I just witnessed. But I don't know. It's the well, I mean, it's not just Mei, but it's also just like an occurring theme for certain characters in how they are willing to sacrifice others. But it's a matter of like how and why. I wonder if we acts this way towards his brother, his sister, because of how much his sister has, endangered his life. Like he's getting excited because of the thrill of it.
やる気がねえなら帰れよ
帰れかそりゃマキお前の方だろ
Ooh.
酔っ払いよりは役に立つさ
飲んでないよ
一人の方がマシだったなんてことはないよな
Not me. But yeah, going home is the last thing that Maki wants.
お前たちちとのろすぎるな
見えました
Okay.
術式だよな
貴様
I was gonna say it looks kind of cute, but then never mind. Oh.
欲の花見を殺したな殺したな呪霊よアニメーションが1秒間に何フレームあるか知っているか
Okay. 24.
昨今の解像度やフレームレートを上げたがる風潮
Yes. These two are having two different conversations. I hate 4K 60 FPS. Yeah, that's fine. Yep, it sucks. I agree. He's preaching. This man is spitting. I agree. Very uncultured. That was such a... It's weird. I love it. That conversation was... Yeah. Whoa. Huh? So his technique is trapping curses or objects in that sheet of paper or glass?
くそジジイが術式出してなかったら私はあのままやられてた
Yeah.
恥だ
Ah, don't be ashamed.
投射呪法全員直人の術式1秒24分割己の視界を画角とし
直人
あらかじめ
Zenin.
画角内で作った動きをトレースする
Well, I guess it makes sense then why he told Maki to go home.
失敗すれば動きがガタつき1秒間フリーズする
Hmm.
作った動きは途中で修正できないこと過度に物理法則や軌道を無視した動き
This is so well done. I love it.
それでも彼は天性の駒打ちのセンスと時間感覚で五条悟を除き最速
Aside from
の
Gojo.
術師と呼ばれるに至った
Very impressive.
させんよ
Did Did we just got domain expansion? We just got teleported to a beach episode.
領域展開タウンヘイセン
式神これが領域の必中
御三家に伝わる対領域の術
Hmm.
簡易領域のように自らは領域を展開せず必中の術式が発動し触れた瞬間カウンターで呪力を解放し身を守る
Yeah, sure.
力をひげの男7スーツの男3に調整術式解放
No percentage to Maki? Kind of an oversight. No? Well. Ooh. Hit him to the other side of the island. Come on, Maki.
際限なく湧き
Endlessly emerging Shikigamis.
弱えって言うならよ一撃で殺せよ
Oh.
タコスケ
Octo bitch.
マキさんお前ってやつは本当にクソ生意気な後輩だよ
この領域内の必中効果が消えている
All right.
あの少年領域を展開して
Ooh. You know, Nanami without his glasses is something else.
領域に集
One thing that I haven't said yet is I do love the color palette for this domain expansion specifically. It's very vibrant. Oh,
この状況が続けば勝機はある
ナナミさん
a great character acting there.
領域この結界にわずかでも
Okay, and okay.
五条先生じゃないんだ一日にそう何回も領域展開なんてできないはず
I'm sorry. I love that we are using Gojo as like a metric system. Like Gojo is a measurement system here. Is it stronger than Gojo? No, then we can beat it.
シュガー
He's letting them go?
こちらとしてもまとまって
Yeah, Octobitch is not the smartest. All right. Oh, somebody's gonna be left behind. Oh. No. It's not that somebody's gonna be left behind. Somebody's gonna come in. The worst person to come in. That was a fine episode. I mean, after the previous episode, you know, and the presentation of that previous episode, watching this episode, unfortunately, it's hard not to compare like the action direction and the overall like flair and cinematography. This was more aligned with like season 1 action, certain actions in season 1. All right, season 2, episode 14 of JJK. First thing that I want to say is Naobito Zenin. Cool guy. I actually want him around. This was quite the impression, you know. I don't recall. Well, maybe he was in the background in like JJK 0 or in season 1, but you know, never a prominent figure for me to completely remember. Like there are minor characters in season 1 that I do remember. I don't remember him. It's been years, but again, kind of goes to show like which ones are kind of important and which ones are not important. But in regards to Naobito Zenin, you know, my first impression was this guy's kind of funny. You know, he's drinking a lot, which also you need to put into consideration that he's been fighting like this under influence. He's drunk, you know, but he's able to control himself, and that's a plus. But also his technique. His technique is just animation. I love it. Being able to essentially go frame by frame and make sure that everything is in place within the 24 frame limit and whatever. And if it fails, then, well, you know, it just breaks the animation, literally speaking. I love it. I love it. It's one of those things where I see this and then I get reminded that this is a manga adaptation, and it makes me wonder, like, how does this work in the manga, or more importantly, did the author make this sort of technique as like, okay, if this gets adapted, if this gets an anime adaptation, then it'll work. You know what I mean? So either way, I think it's a really fun technique. I really enjoyed it. Love what they were, you know, the way they were presenting it in this episode. But in terms of like the episode itself, split into two parts. You know, the first part being in the real world, second part in the main expansion. It was fine. It was fine. Again, like I already mentioned, you know, like after watching the previous episode and then watching this episode, like there is this, I would say, a major, you know, difference in quality. Nothing bad or anything, but this just reminds me of season 1 quality, which is good. But season 2 obviously has elevated a lot of the potential for some of these fight scenes. But then again, you know, like realistically speaking, you know, it's not like they can do everything like in the previous episodes. Which is almost like a double-edged sword, you know, because the previous episode is not the first time that I am impressed with action direction or a battle in season 2. Like there has been multiple different other episodes, like the Mekamaru fight, for example, the Gojo and Toji fight in I was about to say domain expansion, in Hidden Inventory, and a bunch of other fights. You know, when you're setting the bar high and you've been trying to keep up with that high bar, and then you present something that personally I would consider to be really good, but not that high, then there is this obvious, like, there's this obvious difference. There's in quality, regardless if it's still good quality. You know, it's like the slightest difference between a 9 and a 10. But overall, cool fight. Of course, the fight is still continuing, so maybe in the next episode, it's gonna pop off. Who knows? Especially with the completely unexpected turn of events by the end of this episode. Toji, he was he came in and he was smiling. I did say that I do want to see Fujiguro and Maki to be with Toji. Like I want to see both of them interact with Toji to a degree. You know, the Fujiguros and the Zenins of the current generation, and see how and see how Toji is going to react, especially to Megumi, and how, I guess, in a way, Gojo kind of kept his word right after death. Also, you know, speaking, you know, after death, you know, very curious to see how Toji is gonna be portrayed in the next episode. You know, like, sure, Toji's, you know, like, body and soul, all that stuff, but most importantly, memory. You know, like, how does that work? But yeah. Now I'm more scared especially because Toji is here. Like, they can beat Octobitch, whatever their name is, its name is. They can beat Octobitch pretty, they can do that. That's small fry, unimportant antagonist in JJK. Little stakes here. That's fine. You are a no-name. You're literally called Octobitch. But then you put Toji in it. Then the stakes kind of ramped up. Now it gets serious. Now it gets real because now you have no idea what Toji is gonna do, or I guess the body of Toji. Wonder how Nobito is gonna react to this as well, because he is a Zenin, apparently. So on with the next episode.
全員家の呪いを継いで生まれた者、その呪いを捨てきれなかった者、彼らは目撃する。すべてを捨て去った者の
To the one who cast it all. Wow!
その躍動
Oh, look at his eyes.
誰だ
Yeah, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know.
なんだこの力は。
Okay.
重力をまるで感じなかった。
Of course.
力比べで負けたのか。この私が。
Yeah. The irony in that. Does he know? He knows.
当時か
Yes!
器である孫の呪力が尽きた時点で降霊も終わるはずだ。
But this is Toji.
全員当時の肉体に上書きされた孫の魂に呪力はなく、その上肉体は呪力を消費しない。全員当時は器が壊れるまで本能のまま戦い続ける殺戮人形と化した。
Ah, there's almost no sense of self.
言うに及ばんな
Oh, buddy. Oh! Okay. You see his spine!
その牙は常に強者へと向かう。
Oh, this is a problem. So remember when I said that the previous episode didn't feel like it had like that oomph in animation? This is probably why. Whoa! Woo! It's how they're animating the water and how it reacts to their movements. It's fantastic. Whoa! Oh, that's beautiful. Whoa! Whoa! Just pure action. No words, no commentary, nothing. Just pure action. I love it. A ghost. Nice response. Oh! Look at the way the rock was also moving during that shot.
私が重力のない人間に
It's over. My God.
領域が
Yep.
伏黒君が来てくれなければ 間違いなく全滅していた。だがまだ問題は
Yeah.
彼は味方なのか。
That's the scary part. I don't think he is. Oh, ominous, foreboding, intimidating. Instincts dictates that he's gonna go to the strongest?
なんなんだこいつは。
Hey! He's just there!
さて、
Dude,
一人目。二人目。三人目。少な。
指で指令が寄るかも。分かってる。
can I process what just happened, please? Joker's like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
ミミコ。
そうか。死ね。よし。まだ文様は消えていない。
Joker's not playing around. I gotta give him credit though. He was like, nah. Can we go?
だがそれは例えば1日1本20日間かけて取り込んだ場合だ。一度に10本も取り込めば適応が追いつかず一時的だが肉体の主導権は少なに移る。
Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot of fingers. That's a lot of fingers. Are you sure about this, Jogo? Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this?
10本すべて食わせた。これで虎杖の中には最低でも15本の指がある。
At least 15? Oh. Oh. They're fine.
手間をかけさせるな。1秒やる。どけ。
Now they're all on the same side. Like, hey,
圧倒的邪悪。
yeah. They're dead. They're dead.
図が高いな。
This
片膝で足りると思ったか？
Jogo, I'm kind of rooting for you, buddy.
下に額に縫い目のある今朝の男がいます。殺してください。解放してください。
Yeah, I don't think Sukuna's gonna do that.
ねえ、ゲトウ様。五条悟って何者？
We're getting flashbacks of them. They're dead.
親友だったんだ。喧嘩しちゃってそれっきり。
そいつを殺してくれればそれをお教えします。
表を上げろ。
Jesus.
たかだか指の1、2本で俺に指図できると思ったか。
Oh. Jesus.
今は虎杖の適応が追いつかず、一時的に自由を得ているに過ぎない。
Interesting that they are hiding his
反
face.
転術式が他人の治癒も可能だとしても、真人の無意天変で変えられた魂の形はどうこうできるものではない。少なはあの時、縛りを作らなかったのではない。 作れなかったのだ。
指の例だ。かかってこい。俺に一撃でも
Come at me?
お前らの下についてやる。
Good luck, Jogo, good luck. Again, I'm rooting for you.
渋谷の人間を皆殺しにしてやる。一人を除いてな。
二言はないな。
Just one hit? Land just one hit? Oh. Okay. Ooh. How's that for an episode, huh? A lot of things happen. Let's start with the incineration of 3 Jujutsu sorcerers. I do think that Naobito is dead. Doesn't have the same, he doesn't have the same presence as Maki and Nanami. But speaking of Maki and Nanami, I don't think they're dead, at least not yet. It would be very unceremonious and almost unimpactful if that was their deaths, because I felt absolutely nothing, and I hate if I feel absolutely nothing when 2 really, really good characters that I adore dies. So I don't think they're dead. At the very least, Maki seemed like she will be getting she's gonna be burned, but she's not gonna die. There was a shot where they're showing like when Jogo, it was a wide shot. Not all of Maki is burning. So there is that. But when it comes to Nanami, I feel like he might die of the injury, but he's not dead yet. So there is that. But speaking of Jogo, Jogo might honestly be one. He is actually one of my favorite characters in JJK. It's just the way he acts, his mannerism and everything. There's something charming about him as an antagonist, as a villain, But for this specific episode, honestly, I gotta give props to him for not really giving a damn and just burning all of them at once. Like, one, it actually is enforcing that he is actually a threat. The only reason why we don't feel him as a threat is because he has been pit against the most powerful being in the world. Like from, what was it, like episode 8 of season 1, when he first fought Gojo, and then now in the Shibuya incident when he was also fighting Gojo. It's like, come on, it's not really a fair fight. You're fighting against the most overpowered, broken character in the universe. Yeah. So the fact that level of difference between Maki, Nanami, Naobito, and and Gojo kind of goes to show like the sheer difference, and the sheer strength between them. And it's also kind of frightening that Jogo. Why would you name one character Gojo and the other one Jogo? Like you're swapping their letters. Why would you do that? Anyways, the fact that Jogo manages to do that instantly. Well, okay, to be fair, those 3 were fighting off against, what was it, Dagon? Which, by the way, I just noticed that Dagon was apparently appeared in season 1. I just didn't remember. But so yeah, they were fighting against Dagon, so their strength kind of they were kind of weared out. But you could also say the same to Jogo. The fact that Jogo just finished fighting against Gojo like a couple of whiles ago, so I think it's a fair fight. But yeah, speaking of Dagon and whatnot, cool fight between him and Toji. I really appreciate the almost no commentary aspect of the fight. Like, it's just pure action, just visual storytelling. Fantastic. Fantastic. Incredible spectacle. But yeah, Toji made quick work of him. While I do like Dagon's I guess design, but you know, he didn't last long. Speaking of Toji, it is interesting to point that Toji, you know, as the narrator says, you know, Toji's body right now is kind of being it's basically running on autopilot mode because he's just now automatically targeting the strongest I guess being in the vicinity, right, and attack it, right. In the domain expansion, it was Dagon because Dagon is the one who created the domain expansion and whatnot, and he is also very powerful and stuff. But it is interesting that his next target is Megumi. Like, compared to Nanami and Maki, Megumi, the strongest of all of them. Fascinating. Interesting. But it's also interesting that because Toji kind of teleported, push, I don't know, speed of sound, supersonic speed, but the fact that Toji and Megumi are in a separate spot just immediately in that moment kind of saved Megumi from Jogo's incinerations, right? But then, of course, Sukuna, at long last, you know, it's been like halfway through this season until we finally got Sukuna, but it is a very intimidating presence nonetheless. You know, it's one thing to be in the presence of Gojo in that I feel intimidated for the villains in a funny, ironic way. Now that Sukuna is here, and now that Sukuna is here controlling the body, you know, Yuji is not in control here, in the sense that Yuji cannot regain control, I don't think, at least for the time being, right? That adds a level of danger, of threat, of intimidation, as I mentioned. And really, it's also thanks due to the presentation of that awakening, just showcasing in split seconds of Jogo's hand already being cut off, just the sheer what's the word I'm looking for? The sheer ignorance that that Sukuna is presenting to them, like who are these people? You know, we got a lava head dude and two high school girls. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't care about them. Like, he looks at them not as equals. Doesn't even look at them as low lives. You know, like almost nothing. And it's those moments when Sukuna was telling them to bow down, they bowed down. A part of Jogo's head got cut off because it's a bit too high. But it's also the fear that these characters are feeling right now. I do love how Jogo, you know, I do love how Jogo just immediately switched to the same side as the girls in that moment. Like, you know, like at that, it's also a good it's a good way to show that it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're these two you know, it doesn't matter if you're these two sisters or one of the most powerful cursed beings out there. You're nothing compared to Sukuna. You know, like, to Sukuna, you're all the same. But yeah, really intimidating scene. The sisters dying. Am I supposed to feel something? That's the thing, though. That's the thing that is that has been a actually, no. Now that I'm thinking about it, no. There hasn't been a major character death that, or not a major character. prominent character. There's a difference between major and prominent. I would consider the sisters to be prominent characters because of how they are tied with Geto, right? And how we kind of set them up in the hidden inventory arc and all that stuff. But there hasn't been a major character death that I felt disappointed at because I didn't feel anything. Like I was thinking about like Mekamaru, but then again, I really enjoyed Mekamaru's fight and I really enjoyed how he went off. You know, like how he died and everything. Like I thought it was like pretty well earned as a death. You know, not my favorite character to cry about, but still though, I feel like he was, you know, it was a well earned, you know, send off. But then I was thinking about like other characters, and I'm like, not really, no. You know, the sisters prominent. I wish I got more out of them, but it is what it is, especially in the hands of Sukuna. Yeah, I feel like that would be my only nitpick. The only reason why it's not a major criticism or anything is because they serve their purpose, which is to instill fear and intimidation. Like Sukuna can do whatever and he can, you know, kill whomever he desires, especially if those people are not treating him as, you know, as a god or whatever. Yeah, I guess the only thing that I would have wished for is that if I had spent more time with the sisters, then I probably would have felt more emotional during their deaths. But at the same time, I am also wondering, like, was I supposed to feel emotional? That's the thing, though. You know, and I guess I'll know the answer once I'm done with the season and look at it as a whole. But that's pretty much it. We are setting up something big. Jogo and Sukuna is gonna fight. Jogo is gonna find a way to hit at least one hit on Sukuna, which I have no idea how he's gonna pull that off. But good luck, though. You know, I'm rooting for you once again. Like I said, Sukuna mentioning that if he wins, that then he's going to destroy or kill every single human in the Shibuya area except for one intrigues me because I don't know who that one person is. Who is the one person that he is going to spare? Obviously, it's not going to be Yuji because, you know, one body and also that's like out of the picture. Trying to think of like any other character in the Shibuya area, and I mean Nobara is kind of out of the picture to a degree. Like she could be outside of Shibuya at this point, you know, recovering from injury and whatever. Megumi is still here fighting Toji. Yeah, I'm trying to wonder like who this one person is. Could actually be Megumi, considering, you know, again, like considering if it is true that Megumi is the strongest between between Nanami and Maki, you could also make the assumption then that Megumi is one of the strongest humans in this vicinity as well, you know, that is still alive, that is still kicking. Who knows? Yeah. I cannot wait to watch the next episodes. But I will see you all next time for that. Take care, everybody. Have a nice day.